What's good, sir? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, and I can hear you. I love it. All right. Uh-oh, what happened? I'm having some streaming issues today. It's fine. But yeah, we do it at my Facebook doesn't want to go, but that's okay. But are you ready to go?
Well, yeah, sure.
Awesome. All right, let's go. Give me a second. I'm gonna bring in the intro and then we go.
Okay.
What's up, everybody? We are back and we are live. That was a little loud. Sorry about that, guys. We want you to be excited. We want you to be stoked. We want you to be pumped. So we bring you the pew pews, as you know. And of course, thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, we're going to get right to it. He's here for a good time, not a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is a local legend. He's the kind of man we should all try to be like. Active in his community, successful as a family man, successful as a businessman, and a good friend to anyone who needs a good friend in his town. He's the kind of guy we should all want to be like. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your friend soon, my friend now, and everybody's friend when they meet him, Mr. Fred Rice.
Wow.
How are you doing, sir?
Doing good. How you doing today, Mike?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Thank you so much for dropping by. I genuinely appreciate it. We are excited to have you on. Getting word from my producers. Everything is looking good. Okay, so we are rolling. So how are you? How's your day been? Let's start there. Did you make it to the gym today?
I did not make it to the gym today.
I'm so disappointed.
Went and saw my grandson and my daughter-in-law at her little, what do you call it, beauty shop.
They got. I need a haircut. Can you give a recommendation or a referral?
Absolutely. Melissa Rollins. Yeah, Melissa Rollins Rice. Yeah.
Awesome. Does she have her own shop or?
She's on Asp there on Campus Corner at Barbary.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm seriously. Look at this mess, man. It's no good. I need a trim up. I know.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
So what have you been up to today?
Oh, goodness, all kinds of stuff. I went and saw the doctor. You know, once you get over 40, seeing the doctor is not that it's ever fun, but goodness, man, you feel like you're going to Vegas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you go to the doctor over 40, you're rolling the dice. It could be good job, lower the carbs and the sugar, drop a little weight, or it could be you're dying. You know what I mean? You have no idea. So.
That's all right. That's all right. You make it while you can, right? Just do the best you can with what you got.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to run down the list of questions I'm dying to ask you. Of course, I got to start with OU, Oklahoma University, the best university God ever made. Those are our pew pews.
Okay.
The best university with the best athletics most of the time that God ever made.
But you don't have to take my word for it.
However, we got a lot going on, man. Okay, so I'm going to ask you your overall because I know you know about softball, you know about basketball, baseball. Heck, you probably know about track and rugby, but I know you know about the main sports. So, what is your opinion overall on where OU is right now? If you're a fan and you love OU sports, as a fan, what would you tell folks? Where are we at right now? Are we in a golden era? Are we rebuilding? Are we kind of stuck and we need to make changes? What do you think?
Well, I think it depends on what sports you're talking about. Number one, it's like today there was a walk-off home run that was unbelievable to watch. I mean, my goodness, what a game they played. The OU softball team has got real. This is their golden age. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
it's their time. And I think the other sports are coming around too. I mean, they're getting better and better each year, it seems to me. But then again, I'm a little bit biased, obviously. I love watching everybody play, and I like to get to know the players, and I like to get to know the coaches, actually. So it's been an exciting time here in Norman, Oklahoma.
Heck yeah. And if you don't mind, and you don't have to tell us, but do you remember, would you be willing to share with us what year you graduated from OU?
From OU, it would have been about, let's see, 81, 82, 82.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how have college athletics changed in the past,
Besides
few
just being
years?
vastly better. Granted, we were tough. We were tough. I played basketball at a little junior college, but and I also played volleyball back when volleyball was a men's sport at the high schools here in Oklahoma. But yeah, I loved playing sports. They were always fun. But what's the change been? Well, now that's like everything's year round for the kids. The kids who are coming up and playing sports, they're playing baseball year round, soccer year round, basketball year round. And so they kind of become one dimensional in their sport, but boy, the talent that's coming out is just phenomenal. I mean, I kind of watched Trey Young go through his growth period there at Norman North. My wife was she was a teacher and worked with the Palms there at Norman North. And I watched that Trey Young go out there every day and shoot 400 baskets. And you just watch that happen. The dedication is just phenomenal. It's just that you look at their faces or you look at their bodies, they're just prepared to play. And I'm not sure if they are physically tougher or just technically better or what it is, but sports have evolved quite a bit since, in answer to your question, sports have evolved tremendously across the United States, across the world, actually.
Absolutely. And pro too. And honestly, what I like is the fact that it's open now and that more people get opportunities to play. People with the dream to play. If you're willing to work hard, there's a lot more setup and there's just more time, more games, mean more opportunities for athletes.
Absolutely.
I love anybody being able to pursue a dream, you know what I mean? So
it's all about the touches, that's how you get good at anything. It doesn't matter whether it's sports or mathematics or anything you do. It's about the touches. How much time do you put into something, and the rewards come after that, if that's what you're looking for anyway. And it's important. It's important to have those touches. Like I recall my son, he was the long snapper at OU back in, about was it 2002 through 2006. And I asked him one time, how is it you can snap that ball every time perfectly and never have an errant snap? And he said, well, I'll tell you how, Dad. You do it 300 times a day, and it becomes second nature to you. You forget the crowd's even there. You forget everything except for that punter or that holder's hands, and that's where you put it. And that's the single-mindedness of a sport. You get into one thing and you try to perfect these different aspects of your game, whether it be football, softball, basketball, whatever. You try to perfect those things. And I think that's how you grow as a player. I think that's how you grow as a person, whether it's sports or music or social situations like we have the sauna at the Y. I mean, that's a very social setting. So that's how you grow. You just open your mouth, you open your hands, you invite yourself into the sport.
absolutely. And that's something, yeah, I recommended not being into a lot of team sports growing up. But I recommend maybe if your son or daughter isn't into team sports, or if they're just not an athletic guy or girl, MMA training, basic training, just that
Sure.
discipline. And I know you have a background in finance, and I think one thing that the guys, my friends who have backgrounds in finance do is you have a good ability to step back and look at the big picture. You know what I mean? Everything isn't huge, right?
Yeah.
Like my phone is huge if it's right here in my eye, but in the greater scheme of the world, it's not that big of a thing, right?
No.
And you guys have that ability, right, to look back and understand there are trends and there are things, and the world isn't, the sky isn't falling right now, and
Right.
yeah, and maybe we're not on a gold mountain right now either. Maybe it's
Yeah.
somewhere in between, right? And I think that is the benefit of sports there. And I didn't get too much into it till later, but that is so valuable. And yeah, man, yeah, softball wise, we're killing it. Basketball, we're solid. I'm not mad at our basketball at all. I think, they're, not everybody's going to be a great team. And then, of course, the monster that is football. I did want to ask you, what's your opinion on NIL money and how it's changed kind of the entire game?
Well, when it first started out, I was scared to death it was going to ruin all the sports. Now it's not. I don't think it's ruined the sports so much as, but it's added a whole different aspect to the game and the movement of players just from team to team. I don't like the disloyalty of that. In other words, the money's more important to me than the loyalty to the team. If you're going to pay the people, well, hold it in escrow for them until they graduate or whatever. Keep it a college sport. That's kind of how I see it, because if a kid's is playing a college sport, do they need $1 million in their pocket? I don't know if that's necessary or not, but I understand their logic, but. I don't think it's really good for the sport on the amateur level. I think that I always enjoyed the spirit that was involved with players who you knew were going to be here for the long haul. That's just how I feel.
I agree. Also, I thank the good Lord no one gave me $1 million at 21. It would have been bad. For everyone. Yeah.
No question at all.
And then kind of moving into and I agree with you. I think it's just one of those, it's different now, and it probably will be forever. And we just have to, you either stop watching sports or learn to like it, I guess, but it's just not what it was. And I think, I believe loyalty is, what I expect to see happen is you're going to get, and I think the smart move is build an all-star coaching staff that builds those relationships, because in the absence of money, or the one thing I find worth more than money, are great relationships, right? I'm sure we both know guys with maybe a lot of money, on a paper balance, but, friendship is more valuable to them, and they understand good relationships with good folks are real value. And I think when we build a coaching staff that really develops those kids in ways more than just athletics, make sure, they're hitting it on everything, there'll be a lot of young guys that will want to stay because they have those relationships, that mentoring and great coach relationship. So.
Right. Yeah. And nothing in the sports I played, nothing was ever perfect. Nothing's ever perfect. And so if you're looking for that, if you're bouncing from team to team, trying to find that perfect, here's our national championship team. Well, all good and fine, but basically what you're doing is you're watering down everybody else's experience in pursuit of your own selfish goal. Now you could do the same thing with the team you're on. You can make them a dynasty. Pull the team together, but it seems very individualistic right now. It bothers me some, and I'm not sure. I feel kind of sorry for the coaches, to be honest with you, because think about it. You recruit this guy in, you got this person lined up to play a particular position. You basically worked your offense or your defense or your special teams around this person, and then they leave and say, "Okay, now how am I going to fill that gap?" And you don't see these things coming to the last minute sometimes, and boom, they're gone. And so, as a coach, I would think, how do you set your lineup up? How do you build your offensive or defensive scheme when you don't really have to know what you're going to have next year?
Right.
And I think the recruiting must be just off the charts difficult, but somehow they're doing it, and some of the better teams are doing it better than others. So I guess we're just going to have to wait to see what turns out.
Absolutely. It's part of the fun is not knowing. I guess if we knew everything that was going to happen, it wouldn't be as exciting, right?
That's right. Yeah.
I wanted to, because you're local, and I don't talk to a whole lot of guys, local. As you know, there was just a press release that they're building the new Thunderdome, and they're connecting the all the new districts and the billions of dollars they're spending in that Oklahoma City area. And they named Russell Westbrook as the creative director of this new kind of thing they're doing, of course, because creative director. I want this. Now let all the engineers and architects figure it out.
Right.
Great gig, right? Yeah, if anybody needs a creative director, call me. So
Right. Sounds like a great job.
exactly. Well, what are your thoughts on that big complex? There's talk that they're trying to get the Summer Olympics here to Oklahoma City.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on what's going on there? And just to let me caveat that by saying a concern is they hired and brought in a huge design firm, right, to design this.
Mhm. Mhm.
And their
Yeah.
two big things are London and Hong Kong. Now, I've been to London and I know a little bit about Hong Kong. Those are island cities, right? They are built on an island meant to conserve space and cram everything into one area.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I can't say I have a lot of thoughts on the Olympic side of Oklahoma City, whether it's be a good place or not. I mean, they're obviously going to have the rowing there. It sounds like no matter where the Olympics are, and that's a great thing for Oklahoma City. And that
Yes.
river has changed dramatically since I worked in downtown Oklahoma City
Oh, I remember
8 years back. Yeah, it's
that was
changed
where
a
you
lot.
dumped the dead bodies back in the day.
Oh gosh, that Bricktown back then was scary. But but it's all things have changed. Things have gotten better. I think that as far as that goes, it's been wonderful. As far as Oklahoma City as a place where people would like to live, I like to compare some things here to Norman because that's where I actually grew up in Norman. I've lived other places growing up, but this is where I was born. This is where I was raised. And when I think of Norman, I think of a little big town. A little big town. Now, what is that? What do I mean by that? It's little in the sense it's big in the sense that we got pretty large population, and we're right next to a major metropolitan city, Oklahoma City. But it's little in the sense that if you're from here and you get involved in just about anything, there's like 1 degree of separation between each one of us. We all know each other in one way or the other. So you got to be kind of careful what you say and what you do because you may be offending somebody's little brother or sister. You know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful city in that regards. I love it. I love the fact that you actually know people and it makes you, I don't know, it makes you more respectful, kind, generous, open. And I think that we should always be like that no matter what. I think you're definitely a person just like that. But it kind of helps to know that you have this comfort level that the people around you are looking after you and
Yeah.
you're looking after them.
Just knowing your neighbors, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I make it a point to, at least Christmas, we drop off little $5 gift cards to our neighbors
Right.
and stuff, but that we don't, and a couple of neighbors we know and barbecue with. But it
Right.
amazes me how people don't know their neighbors anymore, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, and who's your neighbor? Oh, I don't know. I don't know I think they got a couple of kids. And I'm like,
Mhm.
guys, if there was ever a flood or a tornado, heaven forbid, you're
Yeah.
going to want to know these folks, on
Yeah.
some level, because
Right.
we all, I like to say, man, there are no bigots when the levees break. It
Right.
doesn't
Right.
matter what you believe. Let's all help each other, right? So,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then what you were saying too, responsibility. You feel kind of accountable. You're like, it takes me and my neighbor, and we both watch after our town, our street, our yards, our
Mhm.
block.
Mhm. Right.
And when people don't feel that, you can see the blocks degrade. What's funny is so on the access road going from Tecumseh to Robinson, which is I drive that a lot.
Uh-huh.
Huge pothole right now. And I was like, I got to call. And I thought of you when we talked about people
Yeah.
get mad at the president and this and that, but they don't know who to call to fix a pothole in their own town.
Well,
that's yeah.
that very, very topic came up, and that was this. Our current mayor is not he doesn't. I don't see things exactly the way he sees them on a state level, national level, international level. We don't see eye to eye that way. But I'm gonna tell you something. When he was running for mayor, I had this discussion with some friends of mine, and they said, "Well, what do you think of this Holman guy, this for mayor?" And I said, "Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I've never met a more responsive person than him. Because if you call him up and say there's a pothole here or something going on there, or can you look into this or that, he gets on it immediately." And I said, and so they said, "Well, what do you think of him winning the mayor?" I said, "He's formidable. He's formidable because people look at him and go, you asked the guy to help you, and he actually helps you and gives you a response." Again, if he ran for office where other things might be at stake. I may not vote for him. I don't know. I might not, depending on where he stood. But my point being is that at local level, at the mayoral level, it's not really a partisan kind of deal.
Yeah.
It's very open, and that's exactly what we need. We need more politicians like that all the way up the chain. Actually, what's
I-
best for the community, whether it's a state, local, state, or federal. So that's kind of my pitch on that one.
Have you ever thought about getting into politics? I'd vote
I,
for you. I know a gang of people that would vote for you, sir.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I was looking at it, go, well, that'd be great if there's a popularity contest, but there's also the things you got to do when you get in one of those seats, and one of those seats is, I find I have a lot of respect for those people because they're doing something only because they love their community, or maybe they want to go the next step up. I don't know, but for the most part, they seem to be very dedicated to what they're doing.
And you kind of have to be, man. The funny thing is, it seems like the job is harder on the lower levels. You know, being a mayor, there's no separate. The citizen can walk into your office or come to where you're eating lunch. They've got something they want to talk to you about.
Right.
Harder with your state senators, even harder with your national senators.
Right.
And impossible on that federal level. So
yeah, and as further you go up, the way the media works now, the further you go up, the more under the microscope you are. And I think that's actually prevented many great people from actually running for offices.
Yeah.
Because none of us are perfect, and some of us feel like we're more flawed than we actually are. And I don't feel this way about myself per se, but I know that there's people out there that I've met who have really strong opinions, and they would be very good at being a representative in some way or the other, whether it's state house or whatever. But they backed off, and that's sad. That's very sad.
People like that usually are great too if they maybe not a name position, you know, but they can get in and work on a city council. I noticed what I'm noticing county. A lot of people overlook county seats, county commissioners, you know, county. Working with the county folks, because everybody usually will work directly with the city or a group that's funded by the state. But a lot of county folks and county groups need folks. So I highly recommend that. And as we round out, I know you got stuff, man. So thank you for your time. Got just a few minutes left here. A couple things I wanted to ask. One, I wanted you to give us advice. Anyone under 25, what would be your advice to them today, right now, looking out on the world and everything, knowing what you know?
Personally, what I love, my mom used to say this when I was growing up. She said, suit up and show up. And what does that mean, to suit up and show up? That means put other things down and go out and see people, talk to people, know their story, let them know your story. That's how you really start to love one another. Otherwise, if there's no story, then we're just these blobs walking around. But when you put a story to somebody, you can learn their first name and you try to communicate with them on a level where I'm interested in what you have to say. When you start to do that, people become better human beings, and that's where the spirit starts to flow. Whether you're a religious person or not, that's where the spirit is. You've heard the spirit of the union, the spirit of the country, the spirit of the state, the spirit of the university. Well, there's a spirit that runs through every group of people, whether it's just two or more are gathered. But when that spirit is strong because you love and are committed, it's important then to do that as often as you possibly can. And that's where the suit up part comes. Put your clothes on, get out of the house, set the phone down, and go get in the sauna, get in the pool. Go talk to somebody, anybody, and just find out what's going on in their life. Because you know what a person's favorite topic is?
Themselves.
That's right, themselves. And so you can always have a really good conversation if you just ask questions and listen to the responses. That's why I love the people there in Norman, Oklahoma. I've lived other places, and Norman, Oklahoma has a set of people that are very interested in you as an individual. Politics aside, everything else aside, just use the person. And I do enjoy that about living in Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's man, you know, I lived in Hawaii, lived in Los Angeles, lived in Dallas, traveled a lot, and there's something about Norman that brings me back. I can't explain it. And even if it gets busier and new buildings and all of that, it's still Norman, man. And
yeah, it is. Yeah.
There's still Sooner Dairy. There's still the Greek house. There's still, you know, so.
Right.
And then finally, my last question as I let you go, just something I've noticed about you. You have more than a lot of folks. to be an everyday average guy, not maybe like a minister or a priest or something or a missionary. And that has made you have a level of understanding and compassion. Maybe it's because you have gotten out there, but you have this level of understanding and compassion for folks that I've witnessed personally, that I know somebody's talking to you and I know they are saying something that might be completely diametrically opposed to your personal philosophy.
Yeah.
And you show them grace and love and respect, and you allow them to exist in that place and without disapproval even. And I just want, like, how did you develop that in a way that's, because, nowadays everybody's waiting, you know what I mean? It's like, you said purple, I get offended at, 10 years ago, somebody wearing purple hit me and it hurt me. You're like, just consistent compassion and connection with folks, man. And I just wonder, do you attribute that to anything? Has it been how you've always been? That question.
I don't think I've always been that way at all, but I think that a lot of who I am today is based on my mother, Lois Rice. And she was heavily involved in helping other people in her lifetime. And she always gave this very beautiful way to interact with other people. And you start off with this: we all should accept the fact that every single person needs to be affirmed and validated. They want to know that they fit in. They want to know that they're part of their things, and that they're not off on their own little island somewhere. They want to be pulled in. People are dying to be asked. They're dying to be asked. They want, just please ask me a question. Ask me anything. Invite me anywhere. I want to be part of the world. But their fear of failure or fear of loss or whatever keeps them from that. And I think if there's anything that my mom or my dad or any of my family, my church, whoever taught me to be who I am, they said, fear not. Don't be afraid. Just go out and say it. And you notice that when we're in the same places together, we always introduce each other. You notice that? We all introduce each other. Why? Because every person in the room wants to feel that. They want to feel that. And when you invite them in, they suddenly loosen up, kind of like the soil loosens up when you till it. And now it's ready for seeds to be planted. When that soil gets nice and loosened up, and you can get people to actually and get involved in a discussion or whatever, they all of a sudden start to realize that this world has a lot to offer. And it's really up to me to suit up, show up, go out there and be part of the world.
Man, I can't think of a better way to end this show. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Fred Rice.
Thank you. Pew.
Oklahoma's own brother. I will see you. I don't know if you'll be there tomorrow. I'm going to try. I think I'm going to get there tomorrow. I haven't been able to go all week. It's been a week. You know how it is.
Yeah.
But if I don't see you tomorrow, I definitely will see you soon. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, Mike.
Fred,
thank you.
We'll have deeper conversations later on the show. We'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you, brother.
You too. All right. Bye-bye.
Guys, that was Fred Rice. One more time. That's how you adult. That's how you man. That's how you succeed in life. I wish we had a billion more Fred Rices on this planet. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And for you, as always, you get the pews. We love you. Thank you for coming to the party. Give you a round of applause. This is the Ptpod every Thursday night. Tune in tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Central. Tune into that nooner show with me and my partner Vern as we watch the Cowboys of Moo Mesa. It's a great, fun show, very popular right now. Thank you for that support as well. We will see you tomorrow at 3:30. Thank you guys so much. Remember, it's the Ptpod. Tell your friends, like, share, subscribe, and we are out.
Oh, boy.